Hey family, MJ, TDS Academy. A little bit of a dark week for me. We had some massive rains in the city where I live in. As you can see, there's a lot of hills. Unfortunately, I live basically at the bottom of where three hills converge. And Project 1, C300 TDS Academy vehicle was flooded and is a total loss. I am basically in a rental car, as you could see, but the startling differences between driving a car, especially a performance car that sits relatively low, compared to an SUV which is sitting very high up. My head is almost two levels up here. The difference is when the car is lower, like the vehicle in front of us. Okay, every vehicle, whether it's a bicycle, motorcycle, or car, has a balance point. Okay, our friend, that famous golfer that nearly killed himself, didn't understand balance points, and what he did was basically the cardinal no-no as far as races. You never, or even performance in safe driving, you never ever jam on the brakes in a turn. Okay, once you've turned the wheel and the car starts to lean, it's at its balance point. Okay, imagine being on a bicycle going down a hill, leaning to the right, okay, in the middle of a turn, and then you just suddenly jam on the brakes, right? That's not gonna work. Believe it or not, the exact same thing happens when you're in an automobile. Okay, four wheels, no vehicle likes to be suddenly have its path changed. All right, carts, racing carts, and Formula One cars, which are racing carts on an unbelievable amount of steroids, they appreciate that. Okay, race cars, okay, appreciate that because they sit low, the suspension is very stiff, and the balance point is very narrow. Okay, most average street drivers would not even feel or be aware of the difference. They would just think, oh, this is a bumpy ride. They wouldn't feel the balance point. All right, after so many decades of racing motorcycles on dirt, which is a what's the word I'm using? An inconsistent terrain, as opposed to racing cars or motorcycles on street track. If you took X amount of pounds out of any tire in a car I'm driving, not only would I be able to tell you which tire you took it out of, I would tell you how many pounds of air you took out. Right? Racers call that seat of the pants. Now you have to actually have a decent amount of that or develop it even as a competent street driver. Okay? How many times have you seen people driving around, one tire's half flat, and they have no clue? Okay? The sad part is they're going to find out when they come into a corner and the car does something really stupid that they didn't anticipate. Okay? Nobody thinks about their tires. That's the only thing keeping thousands of pounds where it's supposed to be. Okay? Beware of your tires. Beware of your balance points. Remember that if you're driving an SUV, you're sitting up in the air. The higher a certain amount of weight is the more it's going to have a pendulum effect. Okay? Making a mistake in a car is more forgiven than in an SUV. Okay? An SUV, the upper weight is magnified. Okay, I'm going to show you something to kind of add to that. When I was working as a new telephone man, okay, we're up here at that height. Okay, you'd be surprised that the pole that you feel at ground height, you could touch it, doesn't move. Ask any telephone man, when you get up there, you can feel the pole moving and rocking, right? Because the weight, the higher up you go with the weight, is the more magnified the pendulum effect is. All right, so big SUVs, gentle movements, no crazy anything. Okay, no crazy anything. All right, respect the balance point of the automobile and don't do things that it's not gonna like. Okay, accidents cause time, injuries, and money. Okay, this is TDS Academy lesson for today. Peace out. Happy miles, happy smiles.